I have been working a temp job. So it's temp, possibly, maybe, hopefully gonna turn into a permanent, permanent full-time position, but right now it's a temp job. And I was at Universal Studios because my job is in the area there. And up at Universal Studios Hollywood, there's something called City Walk. And there was this shop where I saw this poster. And number one, I love 3D. Number two, I love Michael Jackson. So when I saw it, I had to buy it and bring it home. So yeah, during the course of my day, I will go back. Honest, I'm not kidding you. I just do. I go like this and like this and like this and like this, just watching Michael Jackson change positions, and it's kind of cool. One of the things that happened, and I want to, it's like I have this internet friend, and I've actually met her. Well, I'll put it this way: she's not really an internet friend because we hardly interact on the internet at all. But I met her through the Michael Jackson fan community, and she's young, and she splurges on all these concerts and shows that are all Michael Jackson related, and involved in this is her travel costs. And when I was young, I used to follow Todd Rundgren, and I wouldn't trade my memories for anything I could have bought back then. I really wouldn't have. But I wish I would have learned to have saved. My daughter is a much better example of that than I am. By the way, my daughter, who is 15 and a half, she got her driver's permit. So, like, I'm a nervous Nellie, and while she's driving and I'm in the car with her, which, by the way, is the last thing I ever wanted to be responsible for, I'm in the car with her, she's driving along. And weirdest thing comes to mind, because I know that Prince Jackson, Michael Jackson's son, is only like less than a month, maybe a couple weeks younger than her, and I'm like, dang, I wish Michael Jackson was alive so he'd be, having to go through what I'm going through teaching Prince how to drive. But, of course his situation is different because he would have his security people or whoever teach Prince how to drive, which I'm just wondering if Prince is learning how to drive. Now, and I also wonder about things like, well, a friend of mine asked me the other day, who was the man who, like when Michael Jackson first died, that book that came out, and she, and I said, I mentioned him in the book that I wrote, which is, I haven't mentioned it in a long time, but the book that I wrote, my virtual escape from reality, or a guide to the Michael Jackson death hoax. So, I went to look it up, and the person that we were thinking of was Ian Halperin, which actually she remembered before I even found it in this book, because it's been a long time since I even looked at this. But I got to the part about Michael Jackson's memorial, which is, I just mentioned, I watched his memorial, which was televised on practically all stations of the free world, compliments of the Jackson family. If you didn't watch it when it was aired, you can do a search on YouTube for Michael Jackson's memorial. There are countless videos from which you can choose to view. I started thinking about that. I don't remember any other pop personality or celebrity of the entertainment status that ever received that much coverage over a death. I mean, it was more like royalty when you think about it. Throughout the world, that memorial was played on practically every channel that I tuned into. And people, I remember like a few days after his death, people were still like, I am, well, not me, but people who weren't into Michael Jackson were like, sick of this Michael Jackson, okay, so he died. But the thing was, it was almost like this resounding thing that was going on the subconscious level of the world. A few few different things it could have been, or maybe it was a few different things altogether. So like, I'm thinking to myself, you know, was it that the media was feeling guilty for ripping his name apart the way they did when he was alive? I'm trying to remain calm here. You know, so there was like this subconscious something didn't gel when he died. You think back, it was on every channel practically all the time. And at the memorial, you know, it's like they had, if you've ever been to, I think it's the House of Blues, where they have all the different religious symbols on the wall. They had the same thing going at the background of Michael Jackson's memorial. And I really think there's some sort of theme in unifying and connecting everything through music, but I don't know how. It's a very idealistic concept, and I don't know, you know, I really don't. It's like, I keep thinking you know, that song Come Together Over Me, the Beatles song that he recorded, I almost think that there's some sort of purpose that he had, you know, like a higher purpose there. Getting back to the young lady who follows the bands around and spends all her money doing that rather than saving, putting some away for a rainy day, and maybe she does. She gave me this neat little book, which is like Michael Jackson, A Tribute to the King of Pop. And the reason why I love this is when my daughter was young, there used to be a book that I would read to her about this postman thing, and they had these little pockets where, you know, you pull things out and there'd be like little information in it, and it goes along with the story. And that's what this book is like. I mean, the King of Pop Awards, you know, and then you open it up and it's got all those listings, and these are hiding under, you know, it's like, I love pop-up books. You know, I've got a Wizard of Oz pop-up book too. Open that up and it's got facts, you know, copy of, what is it? His death certificate of death, which by the way says Michael Joseph Jackson, not Michael Joe Jackson, which totally, his legal name is Michael Joe Jackson. What else is in here? The last will of Michael Joseph Jackson. Again, you know, it's like Michael Joseph Jackson. By the way, she also mentioned that Kai Chase was rehired. I mean, rehired by who? Rehired at Neverland? Or rehired by Mrs. Jackson, or rehired by Michael Jackson? I have no idea. I don't even know if that's true. I tried to look it up. I couldn't find it on anything. You know, this is like a tribute wall. I mean, but here's that resolution. I did a video on this once, which just lists all these wonderful things that Michael Jackson has done. But, you know, I keep reading about Michael Jackson and how he wanted to connect and unify everything through music. And I also know that B. Howard has said that before too. I'm sure they're not the only two that have said that. But I don't know how they can do that, and I've mentioned that before too. Here's a Michael Jackson Memorial Service ticket. I'm really, really grateful to her for giving this to me because it's so fun. Here's Lisa Marie Presley. So, oh, okay, here we go. It's like a piece of his, can you see it? His, I think it's both their signatures, no? This book is like really, really cool. It's called Michael Jackson, A Tribute to the King of Pop, Platinum Edition Collector's Vault. I mean, how lucky am I to have this? If you're a Michael Jackson fan, you really ought to get it. I babbled a lot. I'm so sorry for that.